guys, welcome back to another episode of Lawyered Up. I am, of course, your host, Jared Moore. You guys know me. If you guys have any questions, you can pop them into the chat. I'll try to answer them. Again, I am not a lawyer. I wanted to do this update today because there's been a development in the Freedmen case that's at the Mvskoke Creek Nation Supreme Court, and I wanted to kind of go over the details with you guys. There haven't been any updates to any of the other cases that we've been following, just to get that out of the way. Okay, so let me pop this up for you guys and we'll start going down this particular rabbit hole. So here we have the Creek Supreme Court's website. We're going to go over here to current docket. And then you see here we have, let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. We have the Citizenship Board of the Mvskoke Creek Nation versus Rhonda K. Grayson. Let's click it. And then we have all the stuff that is listed here. You guys might remember this from the previous Lawyered Up that we did, and I talked about these order denying motions for leave to file amicus briefs. Well, we've got a new listing here, order setting oral argument. So let's click it and take a look. Let me get this out of the way and we will make this bigger. Now, the first thing I wanted to mention, and this is just in passing here, but you'll see that this was filed on April 12th, and you might have noticed that when we did our previous Lawyered Up last month, it was on April 17th, and this document wasn't listed on the documents. So it hadn't been put on the net, but it had been filed with the Supreme Court. That's just a little detail there. So what this is you see order setting oral argument, and it is saying it is hereby ordered that oral arguments are set for Friday, July 26, 2024 at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time in the Mound Building Auditorium, Capitol Complex, Okmulgee, Oklahoma. So first off, normally when the Supreme, and I don't know for sure, this isn't mentioned in the order, and we're going to go through it because there's a couple of more pages of requirements, but when the Supreme Court has oral arguments in the Mound Building Auditorium, sometimes they live stream it to their front web page, and at the end of this, I'll go back there. I don't know if they're going to do that this time, but I'll give you guys the rundown on what my game plan is for covering this. The problem is, let's go down here and read some of these. In keeping with the court's long-standing precedent, it is further ordered that the following rules of the court shall be in place within the Mound Building in the Mound Auditorium courtroom on Friday. So 1, all audio or video recording, photography, and or reproduction of the oral argument is strictly prohibited. 2, all electronic devices of any kind, laptops, cameras, video recorders, cell phones, tablets, smartwatches, etc., are strictly prohibited inside the auditorium/courtroom except for named parties, their counsel of record, and the court and Light Horse Police. So here's a problem. If you guys are going to go to this, you can't have your phone or anything. No electronic stuff of any kind. 3, all food or beverages are strictly prohibited. That's kind of not a big deal. 4, visitors are strictly prohibited from entering the lower floor of the auditorium/courtroom. That's because that's where the justices are going to be seated, so they don't want you to be like right down there with the justices. 5, visitors displaying political and or inappropriate buttons, accessories, or clothing will be asked to remove the items or alternatively will be required to immediately exit the auditorium/courtroom. Further, as a sign of respect to the court and nation, no hats, hoodies, or head coverings are allowed within the auditorium/courtroom. So this, I don't know what the motivation for this is, but if you are going to go to this in person, basically just don't wear anything that's political in any way. 6, any outbursts during the court session will result in immediate removal of the individual from the auditorium/courtroom. Goes without saying. 7, regardless of permit status, no knives, razors, box cutters, fireworks, firearms, or other weapons and or weapon-like devices shall be allowed within the Mound Building. That's already the case anyway, so. 8, no aerosol containers shall be allowed within the Mound Building. I guess they're worried about air. I don't know what that's, I don't know if that's the case already, but 9, All visitors attending the court session will be screened prior to accessing the Mound Building and will be turned away if any of the above referenced prohibited items are located. So if you go and they search you and you have your cell phone on you, you're probably going to be kicked out before you get in. 10. Once the oral argument session has been initiated, visitors will no longer be authorized to enter the auditorium courtroom. So if you're not seated and in there before it starts, you're not getting in there. 11. Following completion of the oral argument session, visitors will be required to immediately exit the auditorium/courtroom, and if not conducting any official business with the courts and/or National Council, shall also be required to immediately exit the Mound Building. So you got to leave as soon as it's over. Then they have, finally, as this oral argument is anticipated to bring large crowds and significant media coverage to the Capitol complex, it is further ordered that the following rules shall be in place specifically for this oral argument session. 1. No video or still cameras shall be authorized within the Mound Building on July 26. Any media coverage may take place on the east side of the Mound Building outside of the main entrance. This is to ensure public safety inside the Mound Building where large crowds are expected to form. 2. In an effort to process visitors through security in a timely fashion on July 26, 2024, no briefcases, bags, purses, or overcoats shall be allowed within the Mound Building, except for name parties, yada, yada, yada. So if you're wearing a coat, if you got a bag, don't bring it to this thing. They're not going to let you in. Failure to adhere to any of the above referenced rules of court and/or special rules for the July 26 session may result in a finding of contempt of court, including possible fine and/or jail time. Okay, so let me go back to the front page. So what I was talking about earlier is if we go down their front of their page, you can see here that there is this embed for video. Now previously, like when they heard, let me bring myself back. When they heard Travis Scott's case at the Supreme Court, and that was also held in the Mound Auditorium, they live streamed it here. So here's my game plan for coverage, guys. We're going to do both things. So we're going to set it up so that if we can live stream, if they do live stream to this, we're going to restream it on our channel on the 26th so you guys can see it. If they don't live stream it, I or somebody from here, but probably me, is going to go to the proceedings, and just like we did with the district court, I'm going to take my little notes in my notebook, and then as soon as it's over, I'm going to run back over and we'll do a live stream, and I'll catch you guys up on the oral arguments. And that's basically the game plan. If you want to get a copy of these rules or anything, there's a link in the description of this video where you can go to this. It will bring the PDF up and you can download it and check it out for yourself. I did want to mention a couple of things before we get out of here. First, tomorrow at 6 p.m., Turner Hunt, who's currently at the Cultural Preservation Program here at Mvskoke Creek Nation, he is going to give a presentation on a live wire that he gave at the Indian Art Market. It's kind of a historical presentation. He's not giving it as an official representative or part of his job here. It's just his personal academic opinions about things. But you guys will be able to ask him questions about any of the art history, and it goes back to like Moundville and all of that stuff. I also wanted to mention that we had published a video that was a lecture by I think his name, Mr. Scott Hale, I think is his name, Mr. Hale. And he was an art appraiser, and we published it where he is talking about the modern state of Indian art. We had to take that video down temporarily because Mr. Hale didn't have permission from the artist's work that he featured in his slides for those slides to be put on the internet. And he's working on getting the permission for that. Just in case you saw that video and you're like, why did it come down? We're just waiting till we get a permission to have it back, and we'll bring it back. We'll unlock it and you guys can watch it again. It's a great presentation. Let me go through here and see if there's any questions in here. Let's see. Paul says they should live stream it. I agree. And then TY is saying you should hire a stenographer to take notes. That'll show them. I'd love to hire a stenographer, but here's the problem. The stenographer's little thing is an electronic device. So if you go back and you look at those regulations, no electronic devices at all, even down to like your watch. You can't have a watch. So a pencil and a notepad is not electronic. So we should be good. That's what I normally do. But I'm pretty confident. I'm hopeful. I'll say hopeful that they're going to live stream it and then we can see it. But who knows? And we're just going to roll the dice with that and see what happens. But other than that, that's where we are. Tune in tomorrow if you guys want to get a history lesson at 6 p.m. with Turner Hunt. And then there is currently a motion in the Douglas case that's at the federal level, right? If you guys remember the incident that happened at the jail, there is a deadline next week on the 14th for parties to submit briefs on a motion to dismiss that from the federal level for lack of jurisdiction, etc. So after that, we might have an update in that case. I don't know. And then that's basically all we got. Yeah, bring an analog typewriter. Yeah, I need to get one of those really loud suitcase, things like a Underwood typewriter and go in there, and when they start the proceedings, I'll just be like clack, 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 clack. Yeah, like an old Selectric. No, that's electric. Can't do that. But like one of the mechanical ones is really loud. Anyway, guys, tune in tomorrow, and I'll keep you updated. So, Mado for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Chihicha, please.